What's going on, people? What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome back to Madden. As always, it's your boy Demeachnyc here. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on the video. And of course, never forget to follow me on my socials at Demeachnyc on Instagram. And always don't forget to follow me on Twitter at MaddenFootball. Please like, comment, subscribe as always. And let me just say this right now. Just finished watching the Man United Arsenal performance, and I must say I was completely surprised as to what transpired on that football pitch. 1-0 to the Arsenal, that's not a surprise to me. 1-0 to the Arsenal, I expect Arsenal to go to Man United and win. No matter how way they do it, I expect them to do that at this point. They are a good team, and that's what I expect from a team like Arsenal. But the performance today, now that was a shocking performance by Arsenal. Shocking. Anybody that knows me well knows how much of a fan I am of Arsenal Football Club. But I must say, as a fan, that was shocking. But this is not about how I necessarily feel as a fan. This is about how I feel as a football fan, as someone that studies the game and watches the game. And I must say, Man United got the hold of them today. Man United got the hold of Arsenal today. And that could be a continuous pattern going into this season. We know Man United got their signings in, Sesko, Cunha, Brian Mbeumo, and they stood out. They stepped up. I must say, Patrick Dorgu, I'll give you your applause right now. You locked up Bukayo Saka heavy today. Matthijs de Ligt, good stuff. Locked up Victor Gyökeres. Bruno Fernandes, decent performance. But to me, the standout performers were Matheus Cunha, Patrick Dorgu, Matthijs de Ligt, and Matheus Cunha. Or maybe I said that already. Matheus Cunha. Or Brian Mbeumo, whoever. You guys know who I'm talking about. Those guys, to me, they stood out today. First things first, that header by Calafiori, good header. We know he's a goal scorer. We know that he scores goals. It doesn't make sense to me. Arsenal might as well put him up top alongside Saka and Victor Gyökeres or whoever, because Martinelli isn't doing anything. Martinelli's not doing a damn thing. And I think, honestly, this performance by Arsenal is very overlooked due to the fact that pretty much all 10 players on the pitch were god-awful, besides maybe Calafiori. But the one player for me that has been getting a lot of criticism for whatever reason is Martin Odegaard. I thought he was well today. I thought he played well, especially in the first half. It's not necessarily he was poor overall. Maybe in the final third he couldn't really get anything going, but I think that has a lot to do with the players that were around him. Some players, Saka was anonymous today, but Martin Odegaard was the only one that was willing to take some shots. I mean, he took 2 shots. I think one shot got deflected, and I think another shot got saved by the goalkeeper. He was the only one taking shots. Only one taking shots. Bukayo Saka had some times where he can whip it in and shoot. Didn't do that. Victor Gyökeres couldn't hold up the ball like he was supposed to. Couldn't win 50-50s over Matthijs de Ligt, who's a good 4 or 5 years younger than him, by the way. So that was a bit shocking to me. Who else? Gabriel Martinelli, he can't hold his whiff. He comes in and he cuts inside to make a run, but Saka's already there, and the defense by Man United is already compact, so I don't understand what was going on there. But as for Manchester United, I thought they were excellent. Matthijs de Ligt, locked down. Barbecue chicken alert for Victor Gyökeres. That's what I thought. Not the case today. Matthijs de Ligt let him know, nah, this is not the Portuguese league. This is not Primeira Liga. This is the Premier League, and you have to step up. And he didn't step up. He stepped aside. As a matter of fact, he got brushed to the side. Victor Gyökeres, Matthijs de Ligt. That was an excellent performance by him. Patrick Dorgu, excellent performance. Locked down Bukayo Saka. Saka was anonymous today. I mean, if you're losing duels with the ball at your feet to Mason Mount, you're on fraud watch for that. That's crazy. I mean, I saw that with my own eyes, and I was like, wow, this is not a good performance right now. This is ridiculous. What am I seeing? But yeah, Arsenal were shocking. Arsenal were terrible today. And it's not even on the manager. People are going to look at Mikel Arteta as if it's his fault. This is nowhere near his fault. That team was set up today. That system, that game model that they had out there, this was going to be a dogfight. Everybody knew going into this game this was going to be a tough match for either team. And the fact that Arsenal had Victor Gyökeres and Calafiori out there is bravery. That is, cojones. That is, gutsy by the manager. You could have played Miles Lewis-Skelly, that the team is most comfortable playing with. They could have played Kai Havertz, who the team is most suited with. But they played with Victor Gyökeres, the new signing of a striker, and they got Calafiori in there, who I believe the manager did an excellent job with. Calafiori, Ben White, those are players that I expect to step up. Calafiori stepped up. Ben White, anonymous. He didn't really do much. But the two center backs played well for Arsenal today. Saliba and Gabriel, I must say, they played an excellent game. But yeah, I mean, this was not on the manager. This was a Ruben Amorim performance by Man United. I thought the team, the way they set up, I thought Man United was excellent in terms of their build-up. I mean, the amount of times that the press was just not working for Arsenal, and then Bayindir, the goalkeeper, just played it to the middle. Casemiro is there. Bruno Fernandes is there. It was like clockwork for Man United. I mean, they got the best of Arsenal so much. I'm looking around thinking, what's going on? This press that Arsenal is so used to having to their disposal is just non-existent. And I think a lot of that has to do with whoever's playing up top. Victor Gyökeres, way too passive in his pressing. Pressing is non-existent. I mean, he will half press, if anything. He'll press for a while and then stop pressing once he's supposed to, leaving, many options for Man United to bypass that press with the ball at their feet. And it was just sluggish. It was lethargic by Arsenal. And I'm this critical about Arsenal because they have a big season to play for. I mean, this is for the Premier League we're talking about here. And that's how they play in the first game of the season. Maybe it's a bit over the top, but if I'm an Arsenal fan, which I am, and if anybody else is an Arsenal fan, I would be wondering, maybe this was a 1-0 to the Arsenal, and we look back and we're like, first game of the season, whatever, Old Trafford, we got 3 points. That's all that matters at the end of the day. I get that, but if you're a Man United fan, this is something to really look back at and say, hey, we are much better than what people say. And maybe if we had some Benjamin Sesko earlier on in the game, we probably could have won and we could have dismantled Arsenal. And we're talking about Arsenal Football Club, right? You can see what I did there. So it's kind of in between what your perspective is on the game and what you think. But if anybody is like myself that plays FPL, you are not a happy camper if you have someone like Bukayo Saka in your team, Cole Palmer in your team, Jared Bowen in your team, fraud watch. If you have someone like João Pedro in your team, fraud watch. Zubamendi. Oh, by the way, Zubamendi, not a good performance. I was very below the standards, and I rate Zubamendi. If anybody looks at my stuff on Mendham Football on Twitter, don't forget to follow me on there. You know how much I really adore Zubamendi as a player, and he was not controlling of the game. He was meant to be, the catalyst. He was supposed to be the metronome. He was supposed to be the midfielder that is really pulling the strings, and he couldn't get a sniff. I just think a lot of those players made some individual errors and were probably confused as to how Man United were going to set up and couldn't really close down and couldn't really find their rhythm. There's a lot of different dynamics going on that I think Arsenal were not used to seeing under Ruben Amorim, especially the fact that this is a team that has some new players and are capable of doing different things in several different positions all over the pitch. So I think it was a little hard for Arsenal to really figure out and crack down on Man United, but it doesn't make any excuse necessary as to why certain players like Declan Rice was anonymous, misplacing passes, the 50-50s, and not winning aerial duels and not winning the defensive duels when the ball's on the grass is just ridiculous. I mean, aerial duels, Man United got the better of Arsenal. 50-50s, Arsenal lost that too. Uh, the referee was playing in Man United's favor a lot today. I thought some fouls that were not called by the referee went against Arsenal. And I just think like the game couldn't slow down for Arsenal to really get into groove. So definitely a very interesting game. A game where a lot of fans from the Arsenal side will want to forget. And definitely a game that Man United fans will not want to forget, knowing that they have a lot of things to look forward to this season. And we will look forward into this season because who is going to win the Premier League? I can't even tell you. It seems like Liverpool are the best looking team so far, although Manchester City dismantled Bull. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's what I got today. 1-0 to the Arsenal. That's the best thing that they can say. And I will see you guys in the next one. Hopefully a better performance by the Arsenal, by the Gunners. Up the Arsenal, by the way. And hopefully Man United get relegated. And they actually do get relegated now. It's finished in 15th place. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Goodbye.